Ezekiel 33 and 33. And when this comes to pass, lo, it will come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them, called Law Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of great millstone who rule well and teach well. Shalom to those like men that scattered abroad, pushing his truth without sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. And also shalom to you very few sincere sisters that's taking heed and getting in order in these last days. I'm the brother One coming to the quick video low when it's edifying and to the point. Right, so excuse me. Here we have it, man, right? What we've been telling you, come on now. Can't even get this to work right. But prophecy, you know. So like, yeah, I'm trying to but either so like, yeah, I'm gonna get this off, but what we have been telling you guys is what prophecy, you know what I'm saying? This major prophecy that sets us apart, you know, which is what we speak about with that microchip, right? The RFID chip, right? And so like it's not showing up, you know. I just went live at Count with this article, so I'm not sure why it's not loading up. Right? Well, there we go. So this right here is from a news source, right? Princia.com, and it says from wallets to waves, how Sweden's microchips are changing life. See? And like I said, this is that prophecy that separates us from all these other accounts, man. Right? Lets you know, and it lets you know that, hey, we've been telling you this for a long time, telling you the correct doctrine, telling you what's finna come upon the earth, you know, throughout the whole world. Right? Matter of fact, let me jump from there and get that book in Amos. You know, and this is all the topics, you know, we love going into, but this one right here in these end days, you know, we definitely love just touching up on it. You know, because at the end of the day, we're trying to help warn the hopefully elect. You know, really, we teach the gospel to everybody, you know, to all the Israelites, you know, but only the 1/3, that remnant is going to what? The 1/3, the 144, they're going to take heed. They're going to understand that this prophecy is coming upon the earth, you know. But on this right here, the book of Amos 3 and Psalms, surely the Lord will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets. You know, so the Lord has showed his servants, the prophets, what was coming down the pipeline, man. You know, and here you have it. You got digital IDs, right? This has hit Utah. You know, you see the comfortability is leaving out of America. The Murph is taken out of America. You know, they can easily, you know, hit this next system, right? This next come in with the new wave, right? Digital ID, microchips, you know, and leave that fiat dollar alone, right? And had that, you know, pretty much diminished, you know. But it's like we're going too far that way. But let's go inside this article. Right, so I'm gonna touch up on it some more. You know, I went into it at camp, you know, but just wanted to put it on the channel again. You know, can't never get enough of speaking about this RFID help, man. You know, because this is really around the corner. This can really happen in a couple of days, you know, weeks. Excuse me. And the Lord said, hey, give no warning from me. Right. So it says, in Sweden, a quiet revolution is unfolding beneath his skin. Thousands of citizens are embracing tiny microchips implanted in their hands. Right? What do you mean by they're embracing? They accept, they support, right? A belief theory change willingly, right? Enthusiastically, right? But willingly, they accept it. They are bound to the system, right? They like it. They're adapting to the way of this system, you know? They see it's convenient. It's, you know, it helps them. It benefits them. Right, but the end all be all, they don't know the outcome of receiving this chip, man. You know, because they're gonna come off what, giving you the the so-called benefits. Helping the one that's paralyzed can feel like he got a second shot at life, or whatever the case may be, right? Because they talk about those miracles, so they're gonna see it's convenient. They're gonna accept it, right? And as we've been seeing a lot of things happen from over the waters first, right, across the other countries first, and then it make its way to America, right? As I mentioned, 2019, 2019, it started off, shutdowns was over there, China, then they talking about a bat got out and some other weird shit. Then next thing you know, America was getting shut down, man. So we already foreseeing what's going on, man. We already foreseeing the dark times, the hour of temptation, right? The concentration camps, right? The guillotine. We already seeing that's coming, and this all gonna start with the clash of a society, right? Known as Jacob's trouble, right? Jeremiah 30 verse 7, right? So because what it talks about problem, reaction, solution. They're gonna create the problem, let them react, and they're gonna come with the solution, right? Which will be that implant. And look how it reads, because this right here correlates to what? Revelation 13 and 16, right? Because the Lord did mention in the book of Habakkuk 2, in verse 3, make it plain upon tables, So just want to touch back up on this again, once again. It says thousands of citizens are embracing tiny microchip implants in their hands, transforming how they pay, travel, identify themselves. What might sound like science fiction elsewhere has become an accepted part of daily life in this forward-thinking nation. Hey, man. Going back to Revelation 13 and 15. I'm going to grab these things. Just want to just get it off. With 13 and 15, talk about roughly paraphrasing, about who don't have it. They should be killed, right? Being cut off from society, and also literally, right? But it says what might sound like science fiction elsewhere has become an accepted part of daily life, And this and hey, you got IUIC talking about this is sin, Even inside these articles, they telling you what the MOTV, they telling you what's going, they telling you what it is, man. It says in their hands, transforming how they pay. Let's just get to it right quick. Let's just go ahead and get straight to it right quick. Because like that scripture just said, man, when these things shall come to pass, you shall know a prophet was among you. Right? You're going to know who had the correct breakdown. Right? That's why the book of Amos 8 and 11 got to go into effect. Then we running to and fro. Right? Because they were looking for the true servants to prophets, man. Right? GMS. Verse 15, it says, and he had power to give life into the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as will not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Like I was going into, being a two-folded word for killed, right? Being X'd out of society. And also, literally, once they start coming in mandatory, once they start coming with that flood, right? Having you hauled out to these concentration camps, and if you don't receive it then hey, that's your ticket to the spirit realm, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark of the beast. Had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. See? Correlating back to what? It says in their hands, transforming how they pay, travel, and identify themselves, man. Right? Because as I'm going to go into breaking down the word mark, right? It shows that, it shows that you need, it talks about how data, information stored, things not to be forgotten. Well, what would all that stuff be on? It would be on a small piece of nanotechnology, man. Real small device, right? Like it says, it's smaller than a grain of rice. All right. Excuse me. Matter of fact, let me read down some of it. It says reports from the World Economic Forum revealed that over 3,000 Swedes have opted for this innovative, so like I'm trying to sound it out, innovative implant. It's about the size of a grain of rice. These microchips allow users to open doors, log into computers, and make contactless payments with a simple hand gesture. Sweden, long celebrated for its technological ingenuity, has taken another leap toward the seamless integration of humans and digital systems. Right? They talk about what the was the fourth industrial revolution, right? Mixing man and technology, right? And let alone these people don't even know that once you put that technology inside you, you know, you don't own yourself no more. You know, you about to have you start even controlling you. All right, so there we go. It says yeah, go down some because I'm gonna still go back into the Revelation 13 and 16. The adoption of this technology speaks volumes about Swedish society's comfort with innovation in a country already moving rapidly toward a cashless economy. Right, and that reminds me of what um, Revelation 12 and 12. You know, because Esau got to come down with that great wrath because you don't think he had but a short time. So things are they already ahead of the curve over there. They already, you know what I'm saying, already got it going on. And excuse me. And it's just an updated article. They've been doing it. They've been having them RFIDs over there, man. I remember, I want to say in 2019, I did a video about Sweden with the chips, man. It says, if not 2019, probably 2020. Probably 2020. It says, the transition from wallets and ID cards to embedded chips, feels less radical and more like an inevitable next step in convenience and connectivity. Right, let's get that word for convenience. Cause that's what they trying to do, man. They trying to make it convenient for you. And you know, Jake heathens, they ready to adapt to it. Right, the state of being able to proceed with something with little effort or difficulty, and that's what they do, man. Esau likes to cripple the system. That's why like when you go out to these other countries, they well off. You know, I remember the brother Banam had mentioned beautifully, hey, back then, bro, you used to walk around knowing at least 6 phone numbers, man. At least 6 phone numbers. You got mom and dad, that's easy. You got auntie, that's easy. You had at least 6 numbers in your head that you can just name on top of the head if they don't pick up. Now it's like shit, boy. You got them patting your hands, you patting your pockets. Like, hold on, but let me unlock this phone. His number somewhere here. I know I got it. But back then you be like boom, 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 boom. So it's like I said, he's making everything so convenient to where you have to lean on him. You have to lean upon this system when you take be pierced. You be pierced with that chip, man, and that's what he's grooming you to what get you to that system, right? Gradualism, what we always go into, right? That's why he's getting you so convenient. Everything's different. Everything's not so difficult. I'm pretty sure, bro, that work at warehouse jobs. A lot of jobs. You got to clock in with a badge. Some of them you got to put your finger on the scanner. Right, those things are to what get you comfortable with that motion. Same thing when you go into certain stores. Gas pumps. You go to certain gas pumps and it will say you see like the contactless payment to put your card there, right? Well, if you got the RFID C-hip, right, that same thing will be what be useful for that C-hip, man. And so like I know the dog about to bark. It says how the implant works. It says the process behind these microchips is deceptively simple. They use near field communication, the same short range wireless technology that powers contactless credit cards and smartphones implanted between the thumb and forefinger. The chip can communicate with compatible systems whenever brought near a scanner, right? And I remember, I'm pretty sure bros, have seen, probably did lessons on it as well, about how they trying to, get rid of the smartphone. Because pretty much they want to embed the smartphone inside you. That's what the new technology is going to, is to put technology inside you. Um, the insertion procedure is straightforward and takes only seconds, similar to getting a piercing, right? Just like an ear piercing, they pretty much say they ain't gonna hurt that bad, right? It says they inserted the chip. Once inserted, the chip requires no maintenance, batteries, or recharging. It's pretty much stuck, you know? Ain't no taking it out. Ain't no, oh, Lord, I didn't know the chip. I did take it, but I took it out. It ain't none of that, man. Once it's in there, it's in there. You bow down to the system. It says it simply remains functional for years, right? Quietly assisting its user in daily interactions. And I forgot, one of the bros had went into the movie. I forgot, was it Embedded? I can't remember the movie name, but I remember watching that small little scene where pretty much the chip took over the lady, and well, the device took over the lady, and pretty much if she didn't do what the thing was telling her mind, right? It pretty much it had cut off her oxygen, right? And that's what we're coming into, and see, that's what Esau's not really telling you voice, just straight up. He's showing you a lot of things through his movies, This is each chip is programmed according to individual needs. That's heavy. Each chip is programmed according to individual needs, right? So whatever you need, they're gonna have that chip tailor-made for your ass, man. It's gonna be tailor-made for you on what you need to get done, what you need to have access to. Excuse me. It says some store transit tickets, others serve as access cards, while a growing number are being linked to digital payment systems. This level of customization gives each user a tailored. They said call on your shop. Gives you a tailored experience, right? Fit for you, making the technology both practical and personal. Right, that's what it is. Like I had mentioned at camp as well. That chip is what is going to be. I seen a lady actually like that. She actually went into. She actually had two chips inside both hands. She had one inside her right hand and she had one inside her left hand, and she was making a payment. She was making a payment with at I think it was at Firehouse Subs. But the thing is, it was tailor-made, right? Because if he had two, most likely she had something to use for the other one, probably, house, job, or whatever. And probably the other one in her right hand was probably used for just everyday spending. But, just the point that she had two microchips. And that was here in the U.S., So it says the result is an invisible bridge between human identity and digital infrastructure. People can move through their day without fumbling for wallets or keys, a vision, a convenience that defines the modern Swedish lifestyle. And when you look at it now, a lot of us do that. I personally myself will lose my key, my phone, sometimes my wallet, right? But see, things like that, Esau trying to capitalize off of it and feed you something that you're not supposed to take, right? Should be that microchip, right? Excuse me. But hey, I'd rather lose my damn keys and all that on a daily basis than, take that microchip, But that's what he's trying to that's that slick way he's trying to come through, and pretty much gain control of the people, man. And that's why I say he more subtle than any creature of the field, any beast of the field, man. Right? Scripture says, matter of fact, let's grab it. We know what the scripture said. Let's go ahead and just grab it right quick. let's get it. 2 Corinthians 2:11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices. See? He's trying to capitalize off the everyday common mistakes that, Jake, anybody do. And he wants to come through that slick. He's trying to slither through that way and give you that chip, man. And I'm almost done. Matter of fact, let's get straight to it. Let's go back to Revelation. All right, I'm pretty much done with that article. It's more in there, and this is I wonder, can I play the video and I don't get flagged? Let's just see.
My name is Anthony Antonellis, and I inserted an RFID chip into my hand to store and display NetArt. It works with mobile phones and card readers. That's usually used for privacy, and I'm using it for a public purpose, which is to distribute artwork. The chip is basically the size of a grain of sand, and it has a small antenna, and that whole thing is wrapped in a little tiny glass capsule. So that antenna gets picked up from a distance of about, looks like 1 to 2 centimeters from the phone. It's 1 kilobyte of storage, and I'm using that to store an animated GIF. From the phone, I can upload new GIFs onto it or new artwork. So I'm gonna have different artists create artwork that'll be on here, so it'll end up being kind of like a digital NetArt tattoo.
You see the convenience of it, right? He and like we just read in an article, made it tailor-made for what you need it for, and that's what's going to make a lot of people, draw to it. Some people are paralyzed; they're using it to help them control the computer mouse and stuff like that. A lot of people want to have the device inside their foreheads, right? I remember seeing a clip like that with the dude. He pretty much was telling me, like, yeah, I'm half man, half machine, because he got the he was telling how they had to pretty much drill a hole through his skull, and plant the C-hip, on his brain, right? Man, Lord willing, this video stays up. Let's go ahead and get straight into it. Go ahead and close out, right? Because I'm gonna get that word from Mark, Revelation 13:16, and he calls of all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, right? Because I want to say this. You must understand that Esau, this is his last shot at trying to get control over the whole world in the way that he wants. Everybody's following his beat, his laws, his legislations, and this is his last time trying to do so, right, with this C-hip, So he's going to try his best to come down with that great wrath, because he know his kingdom, is at hand of being, done, ruling. He says, matter of fact, let's get that word from Mark, right? Which we know by now, but hey, let's go into it again. So the Greek word for the word mark, which ties all back in, it helps you get a better understanding why we say this is the mark of the beast, right? It says the Greek word for mark is charagma, right? It says of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist, right? And pretty much that this is like John the Revelator, right? This is his vision. His vision, this is what he saw. He's seen people getting microchipped. He's seen them folks just put on their right hand. And I remember a brother he did a good opinion on it. He was just like, man, when you think about it, shit, most of the world is right-handed. So in his dream, that's what he saw. He's just seeing folks lift with their hand, boom, boom. I thought that was very interesting. How he broke it down like that. But let's go down somewhere to the strong definition. It says a scratch or etching, right, as a badge of servitude. See, that badge of what? It's pretty much an emblem, right? This is your ticket to get in. Right? Distinctive emblem worn as a mark of office, membership, achievement, license, employment, etc. Right? That's your badge. Matter of fact, when you go to work, you got a badge. That's your license of employment. That's how you're able to get into certain rooms, or let alone get inside the building. This is as a badge of servitude, because ultimately, if you have this badge, this small nanotechnology, you have what? Submitted yourself to what? Esau, Edom. And it says servitude is what? To what? The state of being a slave or completely subject to someone more powerful. And that's what you're doing by taking that C up, man. You know, see, the folks in Sweden don't know that, you know. But hey, let's get a quick script right quick. This is Psalms 55 and 21. It says, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. See, and that's the point. You know, his words were smooth as fuck, you know, to get you to take the C up. You know, didn't really know no better. He thought it was convenient. He thought it was, you know, convenient, needful, a necessity, you know. But it said his words were smoother than butter. He's telling you how it's going to, you know, pretty much help you on a day-to-day basis. I can tailor make this chip to really change your life around. You know, it says his words was softer than oil, yet were they drawing swords. So the whole time, he was like, man, take this. Like, you know, in his head, he like, man, go ahead and take it so you go ahead and just get up out of here. Go ahead and get you killed, you know. Yeah, were they drawing swords? He had a hidden agenda the whole time. You know, he's about to roll out with it real soon. Right, so let's go back. So let's get that root word for karagma, which is what? Karax. You know, it says to sharpen, from karaso, to sharpen to a point. And as you look at that video, you know, let's see if I can get a good, because see, it's a syringe.
Card readers that's usually used for privacy, and I'm using it for a public purpose, which is to distribute artwork.
So you see how I have puncture through? Because once you puncture the syringe through, then you press the press the top of the syringe to release the what? The RFID. See? To sharpen to a point. What's sharpen to a point? The instrument they're using to pierce through the skin. You know, another cut to IUIC saying this sin. Sin is not no instrument. And sin is not sharpened to a point through the idea of scratching. No. And look at the breakdown on it. It says a palisade. You can look up a palisade. It's like a wooden arrow. You know, pretty much like you doing construction and they set up palisades to what? To construct let's just say a sidewalk. You know, well, that palisade got to go inside the ground. That means it got to pierce through. And if you got an arrow at the bottom of it, it's sharp, so it can pierce through the earth. You know, to actually be beneficial, because you can have to see it right here on your hand, but it's not beneficial because it's not within the body. You know, or you see the C hip right there on the count. It's not beneficial because it's not in the body. You know, it's just sitting there. Right. To the Strongs, it says to sharpen to a point through the idea of scratching, which I read earlier, right? To through the idea of scratching, because what if you scratch, you're gonna pretty much pierce through. You got DJ scratching. All right, let's say, all right, here you go. Number 1, it says the action or fact of making a surface with a sharp or pointed object. And you can see inside that video, it had a pointed object, right, piercing through. So let's go to the last word for karax, the root word of karax, and which is grapho, right? You can't beat it, man. To write with reference to the form of letters, right? All of these codes going to be on that device, right, to perform certain things, right? It says to commit to writing, things not to be forgotten. See, everything will be on that what device, right? Like I said, it said it was going to be what? Tailor-made. It will be tailored for your needs, so it won't be forgotten. It says write down, record. Come on, man. What it said to give information, direction. It's gonna be telling you what to do. Man, come on, man. Yeah, we here. We was definitely here. Yeah, man. I'm gonna end back off on that precept. I'm ending off on that because we're definitely at the door. Just want to blow the horn on this again. It's Ezekiel 33 and 33. And when this cometh to pass, right, this MOTB, right, lo, it will come, right? The Lord letting you know it's going to come. Then shall they know that a prophet have been among them. You're going to know that you've been warned, right? I had a couple more precepts to go into, but I want to close it down, because I don't have much memory left. But yeah, if you can read in Revelation chapter 16 and 2, talks about the grievous sword by taking this device, right? You're going to have a cancer like pus, right? Also in the book of Revelation 14, verse 9 and 10, you take this T-hip, right? The Lord's going to destroy you with thermonuclear missiles, right? And that's in the Bible, thus saith the Lord. So Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to give our honor, glory, and praise to Yahweh, Shem, Shabbat, Shem, Krakadosh, Shalom.